Hey guys, this is Melissa, and I'm here to tell you about my dreadlock journey. So, without getting too much into the backstory of why I got dreads and, all the reasons, if you want to know about that, you can visit my blog and read the whole beginning saga. I'm going to show you a few pictures of what my hair looked like before I got dreads. Here's the pictures of the night before I started dreading my hair. So we sectioned my hair into 1-inch sections, braided all of those sections. Over the course of the next 2.5 months, I worked on my dreads by myself. So I would just dread, a braid at a time. But it took about an hour plus to do each section. Between that and maintaining my dreads over those first few months, it took me a lot of hours, a whole lot of hours. I'm going to show you how I made a dread. So I have one dread left to do. I have these bangs, right? You can plainly see. So the reason I left the bangs out was pretty much just to give myself a little more flexibility with style. So, I can do these in a lot of different ways. Mostly I have them the way I just did, and I just clip them back. But I have this one braid left that I have not dreaded. This has been braided since June, so 5 months it's been braided. You can see the difference in the length. Okay, this is about 8 to 10 inches. So I lost 8 to 10 inches of length. For those of you thinking about getting dreads when you have a little bit shorter hair, that's definitely something you need to consider. Before I did this whole process, I watched every video on YouTube that had the word dreadlock in the title. I've seen all of your videos, and I saw things I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrific, and I never want my hair to look that way. And then I saw other people's, and I was like, yes, that is what I'm looking for. That person's got it going on, which I'm sure that you've all experienced while watching all of these videos. If you have short hair, you really need to think about how much length you're going to lose on your dreads. I never used rubber bands. I never used wax or chemicals of any kind. I never put anything in my hair, and I'm kind of have no idea how people do that to their hair. I never did it, so I don't really know exactly what it's like, but I can't imagine trying to get wax out and trying to get chemicals out, because I have a hard enough time getting dirt out and things that naturally occur in your head. It gets in your dreads and it stays there. So I don't really know what that would be like. So I use no chemicals. I'm going to include some of my own original music to the soundtrack of this video. So I am a singer-songwriter. You can visit my website at melissabrandon.com. And yeah, let's get to the process. Now, first of all, okay, there are a lot of products that you can get, all those name brand whatever's, like Dreadhead HQ has the Dread Starter Kit, and they have a comb in there. It's like a metal comb for back combing. If I had it to do over, I would probably get a product like that, because what I ended up doing, and I have a handful of them, but I don't have all of them that I used. Here are the combs that I used, okay? Yeah. So I bought these at a dollar store. They came in a pack of 5, and there's one. Busted up. These are obviously cheap, dollar store, whatever, and so, I back comb with these, and they broke into a million pieces. So I probably just invest in the comb. But these shaped combs are good because the teeth are really firm. They don't bend. They break, but they don't bend. So I'm going to take out this braid. This top part has started to naturally dread itself. You can see that. You got this big loop thing here, and it's just getting kind of matted and kind of knotted. So I'm just going to try to pick through that. When you're in the shower or brushing your hair or any of those kinds of things, you lose a lot of hair naturally. You run your fingers through your hair and you're like, oh, you know, 4 or 5 hairs. Or you take a shower and you have like, you know, oh wow, there's a big wad of hair just, you know, got out of my head. It's a very natural thing. And I used to lose just like gobs of hair all the time, you know. Shower drain getting clogged with my long hair. Since having dreadlocks, none of that hair comes out. So all of that hair that you grow and lose naturally stays in your dreads. So when I brush this out, you're going to see that there's probably going to be a big wad of hair.
Walking up to me and I see him thinking things. He notices, me noticing, we pretend.
Combed through the whole thing. Get all this loose hair that I just combed out. I'm going to roll it into a ball and I'm going to show it to you. Don't be too grossed out. This is how much hair has fallen out of that one section in 5 months. This is a hairball. That gives you an idea of how much like loose hair is just like chilling in your dreads for the whole life of your dreads. It's not falling out of your hair. I can feel the difference. I feel like my head is a little heavier, especially when my hair gets wet. I can definitely feel that my dreads are heavy feeling. Now I have this combed out section of hair, 22 inches long, maybe, something like that. This is the back comb crochet method, and this is how I did my dreads. So I'm sure there's lots of different experiences out there, but my dreads have turned out really, really well, so I'm really happy with the way they turned out. So I just want to show you how I did it. I want this dreadlock to lie going down here to my right, so the direction that you dread it, so if I were to just go like this and like dread it, then I would have a dreadlock like sticking straight out in front of my face. I want it to lie down to the right, and so I'm going to pull it over here to the side a little bit, and I'm going to start back combing. I'm going to get my nappy broken up comb here. I'm going to back comb about 2 inches, and then I'm going to tighten what I've just back combed, and I'm going to try not to get other hair in there. So you can see that knots are forming here, and when I back comb, the comb is going to stop where the knots are knotting. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, now you can see that I've knotted about that much. So now that I have this much knotted, I'm going to go back through it and tighten it. So I'm going to take my comb and stick it through and pull tight. And stick it through and pull tight. This is when you break a lot of teeth on your combs. Stick it through and pull tight, and just like grab part of that knot and pull it up, and grab it and pull it up, and just tighten them all. Pull those knots back as tight as you can get them. So now I've gotten that much dreaded and tightened. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tighten that section again. So I took all those knots and I pulled them back. Now I'm going to pull them back one more time. I'm going to try to pull them up really close to the roots. Now this might be a little uncomfortable. So if you're doing it to someone else, be sensitive to the fact that it probably hurts like the devil. But if you're doing it to yourself, you can gauge how much you can take. So just keep that in mind. Be sensitive. And on the point of this being a painful experience, the area around where you're working, so like this whole area of my head right here will probably be sore for the rest of the day, and will probably be sore when I go to sleep on it tonight. So it wears off after about a day and a half, but it definitely, especially if you have a tender head like I do, you'll definitely feel some discomfort, but you know, beauty is pain, right? Not really, but if you really want to do this, you can endure it. It's not really that bad. Now here's where I have the knotted section. So this section of hair, when I first back combed it, it was probably about that much hair, and then I pushed all those knots back, so it's about that much. So you're going to do that to the entire length of the dread, which is why the dreads lose so much length. So on some of these dreads that are longer, where are we talking? So like this dread is longer than this dread, because on this dread I didn't tighten it back as much. So it was a little bit looser in the beginning, so it hangs longer. Some of these shorter ones, yeah, I just did them a lot tighter, and so it shrunk them up. Okay, so I'm going to do that to the entire length of this dread, which will probably take about an hour. But this is my last one that I'll ever do. Well, maybe not ever, but this is the last one for a while, and I've been waiting to do it to make a video for you guys.